The hospital maternity ward was quiet, too quiet. In a big hospital in Taiwan, there were few babies crying. The beds were often empty, and the hallways were dark. This was once a busy place, full of new life. Now it showed a big and serious problem. Dr. Chen Wei-ming is a doctor who helps deliver babies. He has worked for 30 years. He remembers when hospitals were very busy with many babies. Today, he delivers very few babies in a year. In the past, he delivered more babies in just 1 month. He feels sad about this big change. Taiwan has a very serious problem. It has the lowest number of births in the world. The country's birth rate is now 0.78 children for each woman. For a population to stay the same size, this number should be 2.1. Taiwan's number is much lower than half of what is needed. This means Taiwan is getting old very fast. It is becoming an old country quicker than any other country in history. Most developed nations took many decades to get old. Taiwan is doing it in only 7 years. By 2025, more than 20% of the people will be over 65 years old. Young people in Taiwan are choosing not to have children. Lin Mei-hua is 32 years old and works in Taipei. She is married, but she and her husband do not have children. She explains, "It is not that we do not want children, it is that we cannot afford the life we want to give them." Many young couples feel the same way. They marry later, or they decide not to have children at all. This is changing Taiwan for its future. 2. Why there are no babies. Many reasons explain why fewer babies are being born in Taiwan. A big problem for young people is money. Living in cities is very expensive, especially for housing. Homes cost a lot more than what young people earn each year. For example, in Taipei, a house can cost 16 times a person's yearly salary. Saving enough money for a down payment can take over 10 years. This makes it very hard for young couples to buy a home, which they often want before starting a family. They feel they must choose between buying a home or having children. The cost of raising children is also very high. Sending children to private daycare or schools costs a significant amount of money every month. For some families with 2 children, childcare can cost more than one parent's entire monthly salary. Even public schools have extra costs for tutoring and activities. These high and ongoing expenses make young people hesitate to have babies. Another major reason is the demanding work culture. People in Taiwan often work very long hours, sometimes over 60 hours each week. This is 20 hours more than the legal limit. They spend too much time at their jobs, with little left for a family life. This intense work schedule leaves little room for dating, marriage, or caring for children. Women face an extra challenge. They are well educated and hold good jobs. However, society still expects them to be the main person responsible for caring for children and running the home. This creates a difficult double burden for many women, who must manage a career and household duties. They often feel it is too hard to do both successfully, leading many to focus on their jobs and delay or forego having children. Finally, young people today have different goals than their parents' generation. They want to travel, build successful careers, and find personal happiness and financial security. For them, having children is a choice that must fit into their other life plans. These changing priorities, combined with the high costs of living and long working hours, lead many young Taiwanese to choose not to have babies. 3. The government tries to help. Taiwan's government saw the big problem with fewer babies being born. They knew something had to be done to help. They put in place many plans to try and increase births. To help families, they offered money for new babies. For example, a family with one newborn could get 3,320 new Taiwan dollars. Families having twins received almost 7,000 new Taiwan dollars. This was a recent program started in the year 2025. The government also tried other ways to help. They gave families money to help pay for childcare. They also offered parents time off from work after a baby was born. These actions aimed to make it easier and less costly for people to have children. Some programs even tried to help people find partners for marriage. However, these plans did not work well enough. The amount of money given to families was often small compared to the very high cost of raising a child in Taiwan. While subsidized childcare helped some, it did not fully solve the issue of parents working very long hours, which left little time for family. Also, taking extended time off from work, even with government help, could still make it hard for people to advance in their jobs. Many people felt they still had to choose between their careers and having children. Because of these larger problems, the number of babies kept going down. Even with all the government's efforts, Taiwan's birth rate continued its fall. In the year 2025, the birth rate was 0.78, which was even lower than the previous year. This showed that the government's help was not strong enough to fix the big economic and social problems that stopped people from having children. 4. Not enough workers. Taiwan's economy is facing big problems because of one main reason. There are not enough young people to work. Many important jobs are open in many different areas, but companies cannot find enough staff to fill these positions. This shortage of workers is making the country's economy slow down. The most important business in Taiwan is making computer chips. These tiny chips are like the brains for almost everything electronic, from mobile phones and cars to advanced computers and new technologies like artificial intelligence. The world relies on Taiwan for these essential chips. But the semiconductor industry needs a huge number of workers, and this need is growing quickly. By the year 2025, Taiwan's chip factories will need 34,000 more workers. This shortage includes people for making the chips, checking their quality, and for new research and development. For instance, there are already about 10,000 jobs open just in production and quality control. Also, more than 9,000 new jobs are required for research and development teams. To attract staff, companies are forced to offer much higher salaries and better benefits. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, known as TSMC, is the largest chip maker in the world. It has had to increase its workers' pay by almost 45% since 2020. Even with these very competitive salaries, TSMC still finds it hard to hire and keep enough skilled employees. The machines and processes in chip factories are very complex and advanced. Workers need highly specialized training that often takes many years to complete. Unfortunately, fewer young people are ready for these demanding jobs. The pool of skilled workers is getting smaller each year. Taiwan makes over 60% of all the semiconductors used globally. For the most advanced and powerful chips, Taiwan produces nearly 90% of the world's supply. If there are not enough workers to keep these factories running at full capacity, Taiwan cannot make all the chips the world needs. This would cause huge problems for the global economy and for many technology companies everywhere, leading to shortages and higher prices for electronic goods. Other parts of the economy are also struggling. Factories that produce other goods, from clothes to machinery, often cannot find enough staff. This means they sometimes have to refuse customer orders or delay them because they do not have enough people to do the work. Building new homes, offices, and roads is also much slower. Construction companies face delays because they lack enough skilled builders and engineers. Even local services like restaurants, hospitals, and retail shops are affected. Many have to reduce their opening hours or limit the services they offer because they do not have enough employees. This growing problem means Taiwan's economy might not grow as fast as before. It is a serious challenge for the country's future. 5. An old country. Taiwan is quickly becoming an old country. There are fewer young workers now, and they must pay for a growing number of old people. This creates a big problem for the country's money and services. The healthcare system feels this pressure strongly. Taiwan has a good health insurance system, but its costs go up each year. Older people need more medical care. For example, in 2011, costs for older people were 1/3 of all healthcare spending. This number has grown a lot. People over 80 years old have much higher medical costs now than in the past, rising over 200% in a decade. This means less money for other things, and the system struggles to help everyone. The government tries to help with new plans for elder care, but the cost is very high. In some small towns, clinics and hospitals close due to fewer patients. This makes it hard for old people to get help, creating medical deserts. The money for pensions is also a big worry. Pensions are payments for people after they stop working. Taiwan's labor insurance fund might start losing money by 2028. Experts say it could be empty in 10 years if nothing changes. This is because fewer workers will pay into the fund while more old people take money out. Currently, about 3 workers pay for 1 retired person. Soon, it might be only 1.2 workers for 1 retired person by 2050. Young people often cannot save enough for their own retirement because their salaries are low and life is expensive. Government promises for pensions made when the population was young are hard to keep now. In Taiwan's small villages, life looks very different. Many young people have left for jobs in big cities. This leaves mostly old people in the villages. Schools are often closed because there are no children, and playgrounds are empty. These old people are sometimes very lonely. They miss their families who live far away, and may not have help with daily tasks or when they are sick. Loneliness has become a serious problem for the elderly, leading to sadness or worry. Old community groups and traditional support systems are fading. The way families live together is also changing. In the past, it was common for 3 generations, grandparents, parents, and children, to live in one house. This big family structure, built on respecting elders, is not common anymore. Young people often have smaller families or no children at all. This means there are fewer people to care for elderly relatives. The few working adults often feel stretched, trying to care for their parents while also managing their own small families. The old traditions of children taking care of their parents are disappearing, leaving many old people alone and without the strong support they once had. 6. Taiwan's small army. Taiwan needs a strong army. This army is important to protect the island from China. But Taiwan has a big problem. There are not enough young people. The country's birth rate is very low. This means there are fewer young men and women who can join the army. Today, Taiwan has about 153,000 active soldiers. This number is lower than before. The army cannot find enough new soldiers. It misses its goals for new recruits by about 20%. Many young people do not want to join the army. Some also leave early. In 2024, about 1,500 troops left the army. This was much more than in earlier years. The number of young men who can be soldiers is also getting smaller very fast. In 2024, fewer than 100,000 men could join the army. This is the first time this number has been so low. Experts think this figure could drop to 74,000 by 2025. If this happens, it will be very hard to keep the army strong. This is a big worry for Taiwan's safety. China's army is very large. If Taiwan's army is too small, it might not be able to defend the island well. A small army could make an attack from China more likely. This shrinking army is a serious national security issue. To help with this problem, the government made a change. Starting in 2024, military service became longer. Young men now serve for 1 year, not 4 months. This helps get more conscripts, but it is not a full answer. Many professional soldiers are still needed, and they must join voluntarily. It is hard for the army to compete with private companies, like those making computer chips, which offer good pay. A military that cannot find enough people faces big challenges. Taiwan needs a strong military to keep its people safe. The lack of young people makes this difficult and adds to the danger. 7. A problem for the world. Taiwan is a small island, but its problems are big for the whole world. This is because Taiwan makes most of the special computer chips that the world needs every day. These tiny chips are in your mobile phone, your car, and even the new smart AI systems. Without these chips, many things would stop working, and the world economy would suffer greatly. Taiwan's low birth rate means there are fewer young people. This makes it hard to find enough workers for the important chip factories. The semiconductor industry, which makes these vital chips, needs tens of thousands more workers by 2025. If Taiwan cannot find these workers and make enough chips, companies all over the world will have big problems. This could stop new technology from growing and slow down the global economy. Taiwan's situation is a clear warning to other countries. Taiwan is becoming an old country faster than any other in history. This shows how quickly a country can face big population problems. Other developed nations are already seeing the same signs. Countries like Japan and South Korea have very low birth rates. Even China, the biggest country in the world, now has fewer babies being born. Many nations will soon face similar challenges. They will not have enough young workers to do important jobs. Their healthcare systems and money for old people's pensions will be under great pressure. The old ways of family life are changing, and fewer young people want to have children. The plans Taiwan tried to help families have more babies, like giving money, have not worked well. This means other countries will need to find new and different ideas to solve their own population problems. In our world today, all countries are connected. Taiwan's national problem with its shrinking population quickly becomes a global challenge. What happens in Taiwan affects everyone, from the technology you use to the strength of the world's economy. The lessons from Taiwan are important for the future of many nations. 8. The future of Taiwan. Taiwan faces a big problem with no easy answers. Giving money to families has not stopped the low birth rate. The country must now ask very difficult questions about its future. These are questions many advanced countries will soon face. One big question is about immigration. Is bringing in more people the only way to deal with fewer workers? Taiwan has not had many immigrants in the past. But to keep the population from shrinking too much and to find enough workers, this might need to change. Taiwan must decide if it is ready for more people from other places. Another question is about the economy. With fewer young workers, especially in making computer chips, companies might struggle. Taiwan makes most of the world's advanced chips. How can the economy keep growing and support many older people when fewer young people pay taxes? This calls for new ways of working and living. Taiwan also needs to think about how it will stay safe. Fewer young people mean fewer soldiers for the army. The government made military service longer, but it is not a full solution. A weaker army could make Taiwan less safe, especially with China's pressure growing. Taiwan's struggle is a test for the rest of the world. Many other countries are also seeing fewer babies and getting older fast. What Taiwan does next will be a very important lesson for everyone. Its choices will show if a country can stay successful, strong, and safe with a shrinking and aging population. The challenges are huge, but Taiwan's people are strong. Its chip industry and government are already trying new ideas and solutions. Taiwan's fight against population decline is an important example for all. What do you think is the single most important action Taiwan should take for its future?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.